And then I'm hoping to make kind of a cutoff here for Alex here. Let's kind of get into, since I have seen this and you have not, and you probably won't, and you are a fool, sir, for that. Let's get into Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Just kind of a quick synopsis of the plot. Again, heavy spoilers, guys. This is actually based off of a comic storyline that is really good for Captain America. Basically where Captain America is trying to figure out where his place in the world is now, since he's the man outside of time. You know, he's from the 40s and he doesn't understand current day, and he's trying to catch up, and he's sick and tired of doing that. And he's also kind of questioning his service with S.H.I.E.L.D. And yeah, Alex will be back in a second. He's kind of questioning his service with S.H.I.E.L.D. In the meantime, he also meets Sam. I think it's Lieutenant Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, who is played by Anthony Mackie, and I just want to say great performance from him. All the while he's trying to figure out his place, S.H.I.E.L.D. gets compromised, and so Samuel L. Jackson, aka Nick Fury, is trying to figure out what is going on. And gets assassinated, which sends a shocker to both Captain America and Black Widow, enough so that they want to investigate his murder. Why was he killed? And the only evidence that they have is what Samuel L. Jackson already told Captain America, which is S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't safe. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been compromised. So you go along this whole journey, which eventually leads to Cap's original camp where he got trained, and they come across, strangely enough, we brought him up in the Muppets Most Wanted, but the other announcer of the Hunger Games, Toby something, who played Arnim Zoller in the first movie, he has been downloaded, or his consciousness has been downloaded into a bunch of old 40s computers, and this is, canon to the storyline. Where he kind of basically says, well, yeah, of course S.H.I.E.L.D. is compromised, because when in World War II, a lot of German scientists and people were brought over for amnesty, they planted the seeds of Hydra within S.H.I.E.L.D. So all the while, we have this whole project called Insight going on, where in order to protect the citizens of the world, Nick Fury is actually getting ready to launch a bunch of new helicarriers, a bunch of new S.H.I.E.L.D. jets, that if you so much as do something stupid, will kill you on sight. Now, that's not what we're led to believe. That's not what Nick Fury had in mind for them, just for the terrorists and things like that. But this thing would basically go Skynet on you. If you so much as littered, it would kill you, kind of thing. I'm spoiling this for it. He's not going to see it. So you kind of have to go along this line, and now it's really a concept of you can't trust anybody. Anybody you knew in S.H.I.E.L.D. is potentially a Hydra agent, and knows they are. So the goal here in the movie is to stop Insight from happening, because that's going to be the worst thing that could possibly happen to the U.S., and Captain America is all going to stop it. In the meantime, however, he is being stopped by the infamous Winter Soldier, who is played by Sebastian Stan. For people who don't know who that is, and again, this is a big spoiler alert, so go see the movie, otherwise I'm going to say this. To those who actually saw the first movie and remember Cap's best friend, Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier is Bucky Barnes. You thought he died in the campaign to end World War II. No, he did not. In fact, early on in the first movie, they rescue him from being tortured or whatever. We don't know what they're going to do to him, and he still has that programming inside of him. So then it becomes a whole conflict for Cap. He doesn't want to kill his best friend. He wants to save him. So it is Cap versus the Winter Soldier. In the meantime, we are also introduced to Lieutenant Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, who, again, Anthony Mackie did a great job playing him. Great action segments, but obviously Cap does save the day and stops this plot, as well as, I forgot to mention him, but the leader of the Hydra agents within SHIELD led by Robert Redford. So all of this is very interesting to see happen. Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Anthony Mackie, all of them did great jobs with what they had. I think I even said this to you before we went to go to the Muppets. This felt like a really good Avengers movie without paying for the Avengers to be in it. Okay? So you could have honestly had great moments where, like, when they're trying to take down these helicarriers before they kill everybody, you could have had Iron Man swoop in and start blowing apart these things. You could have had Bruce Banner sneak aboard one of them and then start tearing it apart from the inside. But they did. They wanted to focus on Captain America. And I appreciate them for it because Cap is just great. Chris Evans is the perfect pick for that. Any questions that you have for me on that, Alex? Or
No, I pretty much get it.
Okay.
Sounds pretty decent, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking kick. I try very hard not to curse on these things, but it's pretty kick-ass as far as the movie is concerned. I enjoyed the living hell out of this movie. It's probably, in my opinion, the best Wave 2 movie thus far, and that includes Iron Man 3 and Thor the Dark World. So, yeah, this is the best by far in the Wave 2 movies, and we still have Guardians of the Galaxy coming. The one thing that I will actually... The one thing that I do have a beef about is... I would have liked a little bit more on Hydra, because the current day Hydra in the Marvel Universe, they didn't really establish in this movie because all of them were S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. And they do kind of hint that all of the major Hydra elements are still there, except for maybe Arnim Zoller, but he's not going anywhere. This is actually one of those stories where it would have been perfect to bring in Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton, a.k.a. Hawkeye, and he was nowhere to be seen in this movie. And here's the reason why I think he should have been there, guys. If I could actually name two goody two-shoes in the Marvel Universe, I would name Steven Rogers and Clint Barton. Okay? They are perfect for this kind of thing because they will go to great lengths to be the good guy. Sam Wilson in this one was kind of doing that, being Falcon, but this is just kind of one of those things where I'm like, this movie would have been a little bit enhanced if Hawkeye had been there. Especially in one of the scenes, we kind of got hinted at this, so you'll know this concept from Avengers, but Scarlett Johansson's character, Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, for those who don't know that name, she's got a pretty big, long list of dirty deeds, okay? And they kind of hinted that concept in the Avengers, right?
Right.
Where Jeremy Renner's character, or Clint Barton, doesn't hold that against her. Well, in order to save the world in this case, her entire laundry list of dirty, bloody laundry has to be unveiled here. So everybody knows who she is, kind of thing. This would have been one of those great moments to have Clint Barton come with her. She has to go to a congressional hearing and stand over the concept that she has done, like, a lot of crap as a KGB agent. She's done a lot of crap in various governments. And it would have been great just to kind of have Hawkeye right there next to her, supporting her. Or Steven Rogers do that. And they don't do it. And that was disappointing to me. So I would have loved if Hawkeye was in there, but I kind of understand why they didn't bring him in. But he would have made a lot more sense than, say, bringing in Robert Downey Jr. for it. Because, dude, Stark gets mentioned all the time in this movie. So that was bad with it. Again, they could have done a whole lot more with the Hydra storyline, the current day Hydra, and they don't really do a whole lot of it. And on top of that, this one really just kind of I think... and if you guys haven't gone to this YouTube channel, go to Studio Phantasma, where Romney's Reviews took on the Winter Soldier. I tend to agree with the concept that this was kind of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the movie, because it does focus a lot on S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's kind of what it's supposed to do, because the enemy is S.H.I.E.L.D. in this movie, in this case. So, I would recommend this thing. I would give it a total 9.5 out of 10. I had a few nitpicks here and there, but nothing horrible. Go see this movie, guys. This is probably the best Wave 2 movie before Avengers 2, and we only have one more And I think we only have one more. Yeah, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. And then we're going into Age of Ultron. So go and see it, guys. It's going to be awesome. I promise you won't be disappointed. And if you had any questions on it, I would be more than happy to answer them for you.
All right.
Which you don't.